Hey everyone, welcome. I'm Christina Johnson, a transformational nutrition coach and the creator and founder of the Emerge Weight Loss Method. And today's video will be helpful for you if you are one of the many women out there who have struggled with dieting in the past. So maybe you've gone on diets and just had trouble sticking with it. Maybe you've been on diets and lost weight, but then regained it back again. Or maybe you just struggled to lose weight in general. And so what I want to do today is to give you one thing that you really need to let go of in order to be able to lose weight and keep it off for good. And truthfully, maybe you're expecting me to say something like sugar, like you have to give up sugar to lose weight. You have to give up processed foods. You need to give up soda. And while all of those are helpful things that do help with the weight loss process, what I have found hands down is that those are not the biggest needle movers that need to be changed in order to lose weight and keep it off for good. The biggest thing that I see is an obstacle for women is their mindset about weight loss. And, here's the thing. I have talked with hundreds of women about their weight loss stories. We've talked about, things they've tried in the past and why they haven't worked. And what I have seen is this common thread throughout all of it is that they have these mindset blocks. They have this, what I just refer to as an unhealthy mindset about weight loss, and it is stopping them from losing weight and sticking with it. And so what I want to do in this series, I'm actually going to do 3 videos on this where I will give you some glimpses into what an unhealthy mindset actually looks like, and then help you start to create a healthier mindset about weight loss. And this honestly has been such a game changer for most of the women in the Emerge program, because once they create this healthier mindset about weight loss, they feel more motivated, they feel like they can stick with it, they feel less discouraged, and all of that leads to better, longer lasting results, which is ultimately what we want, right? So before I dive in, let me know that you're here. Just say hello in the chat if you are watching. And if you're watching the replay, just type replay in the chat so that I know that you're here and that you watch this video. I really appreciate getting some feedback from you when I do these videos. So here, let me start with this. The problem with an unhealthy mindset. What happens is when we get stuck in this unhealthy mindset is that we often tend to feel more discouraged. We get discouraged when we're not seeing the results that we thought that we should get, or when the number on the scale doesn't move. We start to feel a little less motivated when things don't seem to be working the way we thought they would. We tend to really beat ourselves up if we make a mistake. So, maybe you have great intentions of eating all week, but then you eat one thing that you weren't planning on and you feel like you've blown your diet. And so the problem with this is that because of the mindset, that mindset is what's creating the discouragement, the lack of motivation, the self guilt and blame and all of that that's happening. And what happens is when we get stuck in that cycle, then we get discouraged and we kind of feel like, what's the point? Why even bother keeping on going because it doesn't seem to be working? And on the other hand, what I know to be true is that when women create a healthy weight loss mindset, they are able to work through that discouragement. They are able to feel more motivated more consistently. And as a result, they stick with eating healthy consistently. They stick with going to the gym because it's feeling easier. They're not having to fight the discouragement and the disappointment and the lack of motivation as often. And when they do face it, they know how to deal with it. And so really the first goal is to even recognize what an unhealthy mindset looks like. And I will tell you, you might think, this doesn't apply to me. But the reality is that most of the diets out there, most of the programs out there, they are based on an unhealthy weight loss mindset. That is why all of those restrictive diets just don't work long term, because they aren't based on a healthy mindset. And so what I want to do over these next 3 weeks is to shine a light on what an unhealthy mindset looks like so you can start to recognize when it's coming up for you. And then each week I'll go over one characteristic or one aspect of an unhealthy mindset, and then I'll give you some ideas on what it looks like to start working through that. And hopefully my goal is that by the end of this, you are more aware of this missing piece, because when you address this missing piece of weight loss, like everything changes. What you'll find, what women find all the time and tell me in the Emerge program, is that they enjoy the process more. They look forward to their meals. They are happier. They're more positive, more optimistic. They feel like they'll get to their weight loss goal eventually. And that's what I want for you too. So let's get started with the first thing of what an unhealthy weight loss mindset looks like. So like I said, each week I'll give you a different aspect of it. The first one is all or nothing thinking. And this can show up in a lot of different ways. So I'm going to give you some examples so you can see if this applies to you or not. So one example of an all or nothing mindset would be when you are getting ready to lose weight and you think, okay, I'm starting a new plan. I'm going to start on Monday, and you feel like you have to go all in. Like, how many of you have felt that way? Hit the like button if you have ever felt that, where you feel like you have to go all in. And what I mean by that is you think about like, okay, this is what I know I need to do to lose weight. I need to drink, 64 ounces of water every day. I need to cut out sugar. I need to cook a healthy meal every night. I need to go to the gym after work. I need to eat more vegetables. And so you have this list of things and you decide that on Monday, I'm going to do it all. I need to, because it's all or nothing, I need to go all in. I need to make all the changes and start them all on Monday. But then what happens? More often than not, maybe you do go all in and you hit the ground running really hard and you do well for a few days. Maybe you can make it a few weeks or even a month. But at some point, it just starts to feel like too much. It feels too overwhelming. You feel like there's too many things to do and you're not doing it all perfectly. And then what happens is, even if you are doing lots of things well, so let's say you drink 64 ounces of water every day, you cooked a healthy meal instead of getting fast food on the way home, and you went to the gym 3 times. What happens is, when we have that all or nothing mentality, we're not focused on the positive changes we made, the positive steps towards our goal, but what do we focus on? We focus on the fact that I said I'd go to the gym 5 times, I only went 3. And we focus on, I cooked a healthy meal every night, but I gave in and I had a piece of cake one night after dinner. And so we get so focused on what we didn't do well that we feel discouraged. How many of you can relate to that? Put a me in the comments if you can relate to that discouragement. And so then we feel discouraged and all these thoughts start coming up. And maybe you've recognized these thoughts. The thoughts are, it's never going to work for me. This is going to be like all the other times I tried to lose weight. It's just too hard. What's the point? And that creates further feelings of discouragement. So having that all or nothing mindset, feeling like you have to be all in, directly contributes to feeling discouraged and wanting to give up. Another way that all or nothing thinking can show up is just the feeling of overwhelm. So, feeling like you can make these changes for a while, but it's just not sustainable. You can go all in and do, 20 different things, and you can do it for a couple weeks, but then life gets busy or stressful, and you just don't have the capacity anymore to do all of it. And as soon as you stop doing all of it, you feel like, well, what's the point? And then even a few good habits can start to slip. The other big issue with the all or nothing thinking that I'm guessing some of you can relate to is when we feel like we have to be perfect to lose weight. And maybe that means that you are doing really well, but then, your neighborhood girls are selling Girl Scout cookies and you decide to eat one. But then you eat that one cookie and those thoughts come up again. The thoughts that, I blew my diet, this is never going to work. You feel discouraged. And then what happens next? We usually don't stop at one cookie. We eat the whole sleeve of cookies. And so that giving up because you feel like you've blown the diet often leads to more overeating. And obviously, this is going to stop you from losing weight. And maybe you're thinking, like, is it really that unhealthy to have an all or nothing mindset? You know, like maybe that's coming up. Like, really, what is the big deal? Hopefully, as I kind of explained all that, you're seeing the dots connected between how an all or nothing mindset leads to discouragement, leads to giving up. But the issue is that what happens with this all or nothing mindset is it puts us on this weight loss pendulum. So if you think about, like a pendulum swinging back and forth, we go all in on a diet and we swing all the way to one side, right? And we go all the way to one side, we go all in, we make all these changes, we expect ourselves to be perfect, but you can't stay up in that upward spot forever. And then you swing back down. But instead of just swinging back to the middle, we go all the way to the other side. And on the other side is where we just give up. We feel like, I can't be perfect, so what's the point in bothering? And then we go back to all the old habits. And when you have that all or nothing mindset, you're just going back and forth on that pendulum between being all in and being all out. So I'd really love to know, can any of you relate to this? Can you see yourself in this all or nothing pattern? Can you see times in your life where you've been on that pendulum? Would you even just type the word pendulum in the comments if you can relate to that? I would really be interested to know what parts of this you can see yourself in. So what do we do about this? I will say that the all or nothing mindset is very, very sneaky. For example, we talk about it in Emerge all the time, and yet, people still, it takes a couple months for people to really recognize when it's showing up and to know how to work through it. But here's what we kind of do to help with this all or nothing thinking. There's a few different things. Number one is truly believing in your heart, deep down in your heart, that it is okay to take this one step at a time. So what I mean by that is it is okay to not go all in. And how this looks in Emerge is each week I give people a few strategic habits to focus on. So they're focused on just a couple things. They implement that well. And sure, maybe they're still eating a little sugar. Maybe they're still not exercising, and that's okay. But they're focused on just a couple realistic habits. They really figure out how to put that into place well in their life, and then we build on it. And this step-by-step building is really so helpful because it's not overwhelming. It feels very realistic, very doable, and you're less likely to feel discouraged and to give up. So that's one thing, is believing that it is okay to take it one step at a time. Okay, the second piece of creating a healthy weight loss mindset, getting rid of the all or nothing thinking, is to believe that one mistake does not define your success or failure. So let me say that one more time. One mistake does not define your success or failure. Because we have this kind of motto in the Emerge program that you cannot fail on that program. As long as you keep on going, you keep on showing up week after week and just get 1% better every week, you will get to your goal. Maybe it might take a little longer than you had hoped, but you will get there in this sustainable way and you will know how to maintain it. And that is ultimately like the biggest thing is we don't want to just lose weight, but we want to be able to keep it off, right? It's not worth it if it just comes back on in a few weeks or a couple months. So we need to see that one mistake is not defining our success or failure. And when we accept that, then we have less discouragement, we have less beating ourselves up. And this leads to the third piece of getting rid of that all or nothing thinking, which is really taking the view that every mistake or slip up, whatever you want to call it, is an opportunity to learn more, to grow, and to set yourself up for success in the future. So for example, just this week, one of the Emerge members emailed me and was feeling disappointed because she was going to do no sugar and she ended up eating a piece of cake. Her friend came over and brought some cake and she ate it. And she was able to kind of talk herself through that disappointment and decided, okay, it's okay. She's going to get right back on track. Everything is fine. But the other piece that I encouraged her to do is to learn from that. So let's not see it as a failure. Let's see it as an opportunity to learn from. And so what I encouraged her to do is to look at it and just to reflect on, what did, even though she wasn't going to eat sugar that week, what did trigger her to want to eat that cake in that moment? And what could she do differently next time to make it less likely that she would give in a similar situation? And so that's what we want to do. We want to see these slip-ups not as signs of failure, but as opportunities for growth. And to be completely honest, when women are going through the Emerge program, I hope that they have several of those moments of quote unquote failure, because then we get to work through it together and learn from it and make a plan so that they're successful later on their own. Okay, so this is the first key to a healthy weight loss mindset, is really getting rid of the all or nothing thinking. Because I promise you, it is probably only causing you discouragement and hopelessness and not getting you the results that you want. And so if this is, and so what I want to do, I'm all about taking action because I'm a coach. That is what I do. It's not just getting information. That's not enough to create transformation, but we want to take action. So here's your action item for this week until I give you the second part of this series next Wednesday. So your action item is to really consider any times you're feeling discouraged or feeling like you blew your diet. Take note of those feelings as they come up over this past week. Or if you don't notice them, think about the last time that you felt that way, that you felt discouraged, that you felt like, you weren't getting the results you hoped for. And just consider if some all or nothing thinking is contributing to that. Think about, are you expecting yourself to be perfect? Are you expecting yourself to go all in, hit the ground running hard? And is that what's causing some of the discouragement? So just reflect on this idea of all or nothing thinking. The goal really over the next week is to just become aware of whether or not this applies to you. And then next week, I'll talk about another characteristic of an unhealthy mindset. Week 3, I've got another one for you. So my guess is that you will probably relate to one or more of these, maybe all of them. So really consider that over the next week. And let me know. I would love to know. You can put comments in the chat or send me a private message about what stands out to you from this. What is hitting home? I really appreciate getting feedback because that helps me shape the rest of the series then, and what to talk about and how to make it most relevant for you. And then if this is something that feels like this is what's missing, you've been missing this mindset piece when you've been losing weight in the past, you've been missing learning how to create a healthy weight loss mindset, this is one of the things that we dive deep into the Emerge program. It is one of the many reasons why the Emerge weight loss program is so different from all the other diets out there. It is not a traditional diet. I am teaching you how to create a sustainable, healthy lifestyle so you lose weight for good. And that includes knowing what to eat, but it also includes having a healthy weight loss mindset, and it includes working through the emotions that cause us to eat. So we need to look at all 3 aspects of healthy weight loss, and that's what we do in the Emerge program. So if you're curious about this and you're really ready to dive in and get this weight off for good, I would love to invite you to book a complimentary Lose Weight and Keep It Off breakthrough call. So in this call, we'll just dive in and look at what your goals are, your weight loss goals. We'll talk about things that you've tried that have worked, that haven't worked. I will probably be able to pick out and pinpoint some of the obstacles that are stopping you from losing weight and give you some insights on that. And then if it seems like you're a good fit for the Emerge weight loss program and you're interested, we can talk more about that at the end as well. So whether or not you work with me, either way, you're gonna get a lot of value out of this call. I get lots of feedback on how energized and motivated women feel after being able to talk this through with me. So I will put a link in the comments so you can book that call. I really hope that we get a chance to talk soon. And, other than that, I wish you all the best. I hope that you hang in with us next week. I think it'll be next Wednesday at 10 a.m. Central Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, when I will go live and share the second piece of a healthy weight loss mindset with you. So thank you so much for watching and hanging in to the end. Let me know any questions or feedback that you have, and we will see you again very soon. Bye.